Hey, how's it going, guys? My name is Ninja Cowboy, and I'm an aspiring, yes, aspiring, not official by any means, Apex Legends coach, trying to make a name for myself in this game. This is going to be one of the videos to try and do that. I'll be doing a review of all the legends in the game, from the bottom to the top tier, and the tiers that I assign them in, looking at them from a competitive play standpoint. So, that being said, this is all going to be done on patch 1.1.2. And if you guys request it, if you guys like this, drop a like, and that way I know that I should do more follow-on videos after this for patch 1.1.3, bigger patches like 1.2, things like that. So stay tuned, we'll get right into it. So as you guys can see on the screen, I made a little tier thing, tiermaker.com, shout it out, sponsor me, something like that. Okay, so on your bottom tier, you've got Gibby and Bloodhound. Those are your two, in my opinion, when it comes to competitive play. Remember, this is all geared towards competitive play. Those are the two absolute worst, hands down worst legends that you can possibly play if you're looking to be competitive, do scrims, play in tournaments, things like that. We're going to start here with Gibby. I'm going to give you all the reasons. I'm going to give you some of his pluses, most of his downsides. He's got a big cons list and not a very big pro list, but we're going to go over it right now. So for starters, his Fortify. Fortify came in one patch prior to this one, 1.1.1, that gave him a damage reduction by 10% to all damage taken to him. At first, people thought it was the most OP thing in the world. I don't agree with the fact that it's ridiculously OP. I think it's pretty standard for the fact that his hitbox is, the size of the wall behind me, and then you've got hitboxes like Wraith, which are literally the size of this glass right here. So, considering all things considered, I would say that the Fortify was a good step in the right direction to figuring out how we can balance all these legends and make them all playable at the same time. Because right now, it's just not that. That's not the case right now. Gibby, Caustic, Bloodhound, Mirage, even, they're just not playable in competitive play. So then we're going to move on to his shield. So his passive is his front shield, which has 75 health now. It was 50. Again, that last patch that they dropped Fortify, they also boosted its health by 25. So now you're looking at a front shield of 25 health every time he's aiming down sights. That's pretty solid, except for the fact that it slows down his ADS time by fractions of a second when you're looking at other Legends comparisons. So that quick, snappy, pretty much everything that Apex Legends is about, doesn't fit that mold. So when it comes to competitive play, it's going to be extremely hard for you to get after those teams, work those flanks, push that pace, and everything like that when it comes to a player like Gibraltar, who he's got nothing to slow down enemies, and he's got nothing to speed himself up. So, that front shield's nice, but it's not going to get you there. Now, Dome Shield, that is the biggest upside to Gibraltar. Dome Shield is huge. If you're in a one-on-one situation, you're low on health, the other dude maybe got 75% of his health, 50% of his health, you're sitting at 25 or less, that Dome Shield is a perfect tool for you to just drop on the ground near you, and you can shield jiggle left, right, get in and out of that shield as much as possible, shake up the other person, hit melees in between. Let's say you're low on ammo at the start of the game. So many plus sides to this Dome Shield that he drops down. I'll never hate on the Dome Shield. It's great. It's great for dropping if you want to res your team. It's great for dropping if you guys just need a second mid-fight to heal up a little bit, hit a couple shield cells, and move on. Dome Shield absolutely crushes it. It's an amazing ability. I just wish it was on a better character because Gibby, again, he's just not getting it done. Barrage. His ultimate ability is Barrage. The shit fucking, slams down all these different explosives. It's 20 times better than Bangalore's. Bangalore's creeping barrage is nice, but it's just not there. It doesn't do the damage, and it's not fast enough. But then you look at something like Bangalore's, which covers a huge field in front of her, which is linear, but it's a huge field in front of her. And then you've got Gibraltar. He's got a little circle. It's about the size of a quarter. Any hero that has movement ability can get out of that range within about 5 seconds. It does not take long to get out of there. Even someone like Lifeline, who has zero mobility, can slide and run fast enough to get out of there before the first barrage hits the ground. So it's a great ability if you use it properly, but if you're playing against slightly good players, then they're going to know exactly what to do. Either if you're trying to cut them off from your team, they're just going to push right through it, no problem. And if you're trying to just go for a third-party kill or something like that, anyone who hears blob and sees this giant red bloom come up and then sees this circle around them and all these lights start dropping, it's a pretty big indicator that you just got Gibby barraged. It's time to move on out of there. So that's Gibby's. So to go back, Gibby's Dome Shield, absolutely fantastic. Love it. The fact that he's got Fortify and a front shield that does 75 health. So if you have Purple Shield full health, you're literally looking at a 275 health target who takes less damage than everybody else. That's going to throw people off, but not enough to actually shake anyone up. If you play against someone who's got more than, I don't know, 20 hours in the game, then they're going to know that they can just keep peppering you and you're going to die because your mobility is just not there. So there's your biggest pro, Dome Shield. Your biggest con, he's one big old fat target that's super easy to knock down anywhere on the field. One-on-one, it's an easy cinch up. Okay, so moving on to the person that's right next to him. A lot of people are probably going to freak out at me, probably going to hate on me in the comments, probably going to dislike the video, and that's okay. But Bloodhound is not a good character in his current state. He's just not getting it done. His mobility is decent, but only when he has his ultimate. Other than that, he's just like everybody else. And then his passive and his tactical just, they're not getting there. They're not doing enough for the players on the team or in the game to actually be able to effectively make a push, stop a push, engage a fight, nothing like that. So let's get into it a little bit here. So he can smell just footsteps or getting on a zip line or however the fuck that works. I don't understand how he can smell someone getting on a zip line, but he essentially sees the little footsteps on the ground that he can follow, and they track up to, I think, 55 seconds to 60 seconds out, and you can just chase these tracks for days and days, and as long as the other team is constantly moving away from you, then you're just going to be running in circles forever sometimes, depending on how fast that other team is moving. I mean, the footstep tracking was nice early game when, people were moving a little slower. The mobility wasn't at its, maximized capacity with characters like Wraith and Octane now, Pathfinder even. But now that people are moving it, covering the entire map in a matter of a minute, the fact that you're tracking someone 60 seconds out, it's just not getting it done. That's not enough to make him effective. It was good for chasing kills early tournament play, because all tournaments are just doing, max out your kills in this amount of time or this many games. So it was good. You could make some new kills that you might not have without him, but now it's just, move as fast as you can, cover the map, get to as many teams as possible. So you don't really need that little tracking ability. It's just not worth it. Now we're moving on to his scanner sweep. That's his tactical ability. It's something. It's an ability. It gets you some information, and for those of you who haven't played a battle royale before, possibly just haven't played Apex Legends before, information is absolutely everything. The more information you have to act on, the better decisions you can make to engage, disengage, re-engage, whatever the case is on a fight. So it's good, but I've got two issues with it. So issue number one is its range. It doesn't fire very far. If you maybe, if Respawn took the Crow and made the Crow go out and ping people within a certain radius around him, then that would be awesome. That'd be such a good way to use him. Or maybe if it was like a type of grenade where he threw it and it, bloomed up, kind of like Gibraltar's thing, but it just pinged people in that area, that would be awesome. But it's just, its range isn't there. It doesn't cover enough ground for it to actually be useful. You can maybe scanner sweep one, at maximum two buildings if they're close enough, but that's just, it's not effective. It's not an effective use. And then second is the cooldown. The cooldown is way too high. I think right now it's at 35 seconds or something crazy like that, to where you're only getting it once every fight if you're spread out in fights. So, how much is that really helping you? Once you track down the enemies, there's already going to be another team on you. This game is extremely quick. You can't take the time to, look, I've got 3 people in this building because I just scanner sweeped them. That's not enough. It's not going to cut it. Bloodhound needs a better ability set. I love him as a hero. Such a cool idea, such a cool concept, but so wrongly played out. Could have done so much better. Like they have this crow and this knife going on with him that, like, why not give him the knife when he's in his ultimate ability? That's just on sidebar shit. But so then we'll move on to his ultimate ability. We'll just caveat off of that. You'd think, wow, You can see everyone lit up in red, even through Bangalore smoke across the map. You can go up on a redeploy balloon and you can see everyone across the map. That sounds so cool. Then you quickly realize that your FOV gets fucked up, which for a lot of people, that will mess up your aim and your flick accuracy and all of that extremely bad. And then for most, you're going to see an extreme FPS drop. I don't care how high speed your computer is. When something in the game does that drastic of a change, your computer's going to get hit on FPS. And for someone like me, I don't make an insane amount of money, so I don't have the biggest PC rig you've ever seen in your life. So my FPS is going to drop pretty substantially. So we're looking here at, you're taking a one-on-one engagement or a one-on-two engagement, even if you have the advantage of shooting through smoke, that FPS drop is going to affect you. When you're used to sitting at, let's just say for me, I'm used to sitting at 150 FPS in game. When that FPS drops to 130 or even 125, that might not seem that bad, and some of you might be used to playing on 60, but when you're used to one thing and it drops drastically out of nowhere, you're going to feel it. You're going to notice and you're going to start missing, and that cannot happen in this game, especially with how fast everything is. That's probably his biggest downside, is his ultimate. I mean, as far as abilities go, there are other heroes where, you know, someone like Lifeline or Mirage, some people just play them and don't even use their abilities. They just play them to play them. And I mean, it's good enough if you're good enough, but if you need those abilities to help boost you to the next level, then he's just not going to be a character to get you there. I highly recommend against playing Bloodhound in a competitive environment. If you just want to have fun with your friends and you want to mess around on Bloodhound, track people, scan through buildings, all that kind of crap, awesome, do it, man, go for it. But if you're looking to get competitive in this game and you're looking to win tournaments, get noticed and things like that, get off Bloodhound. Get off Bloodhound until they do something with him to make him better. I really hope they do. I love the character. I just don't like where he's at in his current state, which, you know, that's what this video is all about. Another big thing, this is more of like a public service announcement to all the Bloodhound players in the world who are usually either under level 30 or accidentally forgot to pick their character. Do not scan or sweep mid-fight when your teammates are trying to engage an enemy. If they're engaged in a fight and you scan or sweep and ping the enemy, a giant orange hologram is going to sit in front of your teammate, and that person who was behind the hologram is going to shift and move, but they won't be able to see that because all they'll see is a giant orange hologram in their face, bugging the shit out of them, taking up majority of their screen. Don't do it. Do everyone a favor. Stay away from it. Just get off Bloodhound. Jump onto Lifeline. Jump onto Mirage. Jump onto Gibraltar. I would take Gibraltar over Bloodhound. At least Gibraltar can throw his big-ass shield down. But that's what I'm thinking on Bloodhound. Just in general rule of thumb, just stay away from the character. He's not somebody you want to mess with. It's just not the way it is in competitive right now. Oh, man. I hate those orange holograms. Okay, so we've looked at Gibby. Great shield, bad hitbox, too big of a downside. We've looked at Bloodhound, scanner sweep, he can smell people. That's cool, so can creepy guys in the ball, but whatever, moving on. Lastly, we've got your extremely suspect character, Caustic, right? Again, I'm not going to touch on it just because I already touched on it with Gibraltar. You guys don't want to hear me ramble on about the same old thing. You probably don't want to hear me ramble on at all. But since I already am, and you're already listening, Hitbox. He can see through his own toxic gas. Cool. Pretty cool. You know, that's pretty cool. It'd be cooler if he could see through any smoke. If he could see through Bangalore's smoke. If he could see through explosions from Bangalore and Gibraltar's barrages, if he could see through thermite grenade explosions, that would be a cool passive. But the fact that he can only see through his own toxic gas, not even enemy Caustic's toxic gas, very frustrating. It's nice that when a Caustic, let's say I'm playing Caustic and a Caustic on another team hits me with Nox gas, my teammates are going to be taking damage and slowed down. I'm going to be normal pace, not taking any damage. It's a cool feature. I like that they acknowledge the fact that he does have a mask on. So regardless of whose Nox gas it is, it's not going to affect him. But he can't see through it if it's not his. So his passive is limited to maybe 20 to 25% of engagements, maybe as far as 35% if you're really good and you set yourself up in those positions properly. But all in all, that's just, his passive is lacking. He could have so many better passives. There are so many more ideas that Respawn could have come up with. I'm a little disappointed with that. Traps. He's got traps. Traps are cool. I like the idea. I like the versatility of uses with them, right? You can trap people in rooms. You can keep people out of buildings, right? That's a huge one. That's one that I would recommend any Caustic player that comes to me for coaching. I would highly recommend that you use your traps to keep people out of buildings while you and your team are either resetting or maybe you're just getting a res off, healing. You don't want to get third party. You want to play it safe while you're looting. I like that. Keep people out of buildings with your traps. That's great. Trapping them in rooms. Maybe you're in bunker and you need to trap someone in a room so that you can help your teammates take care of other people. You come back to that guy later. Awesome. Great idea. Definitely play that way. It's a good play style. It's about Caustic's only play style. Now, let's look at mobility versus area of effect range for traps. So his area of effect, let's just call it 15 meters around the trap. That 15 meters around the trap is good to slow the enemy down, but it's not enough to stop them. And that's a big factor when it comes to using a Caustic trap or using a Nox gas. You need that area of effect to cover a choke, cover a door, cover something. But a lot of engagements in this game are taken in the open. If you're in Cascades, if you're fighting out in the desert by bunker and by the village and things like that, if you're outside anywhere, if you're taking engagements where there aren't choke points, Caustic is extremely weak. Then it just boils down to him tossing traps randomly, which are more than likely going to affect his teammates. Let's get into that. His Caustic gas does not hurt his own team, but it does slow them down. Bad. Anytime the word slow comes out of your mouth when you're talking about a character, you should probably stop playing that character. This game is fast. It's built around being fast-paced action combat. Anything that slows your team down should be avoided at all costs. Great, you're doing damage to the enemy team, but if your team can't see and can't move, then what is the use? There's no point in doing it. You're going to hurt your team more than you're going to hurt the other team, and that's simply what it boils down to. Again, this is a great character. I played him for a while. I've got a good amount of hours on him. I probably got 200 something kills with him. That's not a lot at all. I've got thousands of kills on other characters, but he's fun and he's got his uses. I like using him when I'm just playing with my friends having a good time. But if I'm jumping in a tournament, if I'm doing scrims, if I'm coaching a team through scrims, helping them, figure out their strategies late game in actual scrims with pro players where you're going to be lasting till that last circle, you might not be taking fights as often as you probably would in a pub. He's actually pretty strong. He can cover traps on maybe the last 2-3 buildings that are in the zone. He can cover them with traps, and that's huge. Because taking that extra bit of damage in a Caustic trap, when it comes to the zone coming in and you being in a healing fight, that extra little piece of damage that he just did to you is going to feel huge when it comes to that last couple seconds in that circle. So he's effective. He's effective in his own right, but he's too situational for him to be effective in every situation. I just sounded really stupid, but we're just going to roll with it. Now, his ultimate ability, Nox gas, I could pretty much say the same thing for that I could for the traps. It's a throwable trap that has a bigger diameter, so cool, a little more versatile, but all in all, you're doing the same thing. The most I would do with it is maybe drop it for a smoke screen, but the fact that it's an ultimate ability, it takes long to build up, and you're mostly using it for a smoke screen or to cut off a choke. I need to see more. Respawn, give me more. I need more for Caustic. There's so many things you could do with someone with those kind of abilities, and you're not using him to his full potential. All in all, these bottom 3 heroes, if you guys disagree, please let me know. I want to know what you guys disagree with me on. If you don't like my tier list, if you think my tier list is garbage, please let me know in the comments. Comment down below. Let me know. Drop a dislike on the video. I don't care. Do whatever you feel. I want to know what the community thinks about these heroes. I want to know if they think that I'm full of shit. I want to know all this stuff. This is all great information for me to know. The feedback will help me grow. And if you guys have a point and I'm like, oh shit, I didn't even think of that. Perfect. Hit me up. I want to know. Let's talk about it. So if you guys enjoyed this as a whole, please drop a like. If you didn't enjoy it, drop a dislike. If you disagree, go down below, hit me with a comment, argue with me all you want, join my Discord. We can talk about it. That's perfectly fine. But let me just do a quick shout out for my sponsors since I haven't in any of my other videos and I feel bad about it. Rogue Energy, Gone Rogue Clothing. Those are my two sponsors. They're great sponsors. I absolutely love their products. Gone Rogue Clothing's great workout gear, great just relaxing gear. I mostly wear it to relax because I haven't been working out as much as I probably should be. Their shirts are extremely comfortable. Their sweatshirts fit great. My wife loves their leggings. She got 2 pairs of their leggings and she wants more. If you like it, go for it. If you're big into working out, hit that up. And then while you're on the internet, why not look up Rogue Energy? Rogue Energy is an amazing sports drink, also used for gamer fuel. I use it while I'm playing video games. It keeps me focused, keeps me alert, keeps me energized, and I just feel great overall. So if you hit up either of those stores, the link will be in the description below. Use code Ninja Cowboy at the end. You'll get a 10% discount at both stores. Helps me out a lot, helps them out a lot. Let's help each other out. All right, so that's about it. All right, so if you guys like the content this time, drop a subscribe so you can keep up with me. You're going to see part 2 of the video, which is going to be going over Mirage, Bangalore, and Wraith. And then after that, we're going to be talking about Pathfinder, Lifeline, and Octane. We're going to be mixing up the tier list a little bit just to give you guys a good understanding of where I'm coming from on this tier list. So stay tuned. This is Ninja Cowboy. Peace, boys. Stay tuned for the next video in the series. We'll be talking about Mirage, Lifeline, and Bangalore. After that, we'll be talking about